Cameron Brooks.
Ready?
I guess.
All right.
Jared Hines.
Ready?
What type of questions are they gonna be?
It's
Random?
simple questions. Simple questions.
I gotta prep before I do stuff, man. Name is Kevon Glenn.
My name is Jalen McGhee.
My name is Trimarcus Cheeks Jr. I'm known as Jay.
Adonis Butler.
Travon Jones.
And just know, this is why all the kids wear zero in Georgia. The first kid I put a zero on, and now it's thousands, hundreds of kids out there wearing zero. This is Mr. Agent Zero, the original.
Zero.
Christian Rodriguez.
What age did you start playing football?
Around 3 or 4.
Around 5.
I started playing football around the age of 5 years old and been playing ever since.
Man, around the age of 4 or 5.
I started playing football around the age of 9.
I think it was around 5 or 6. 9 years old.
I started playing at 8 years old.
What position did you play for North Henry?
Cornerback and quarterback.
I played center and offensive tackle.
North Henry, I played defensive end, 12 and under year. That was actually my first time they helped me play multiple positions. Beforehand, I was just always offensive line, but I came to North Henry. It was a game I played cornerback, safety, wide receiver, tight end, defensive line, and linebacker. So they really helped me expand my game.
Running back.
I played running back and outside linebacker.
Running back and linebacker.
I started off playing quarterback and outside linebacker, and then as I got older, I went to wide receiver and safety, but now I'm just strictly wide out.
What school do you play for now?
At Union Grove High School.
I played football at Union Grove High School.
Right now, I play for Dutchtown High School.
Ola High School, OLX.
I currently play at Eagles Landing High School.
At Dutchtown High School.
I play at Dutchtown High School.
What position do you play now?
Corner, receiver, safety, a little bit of running back and slot.
I play center.
Right now, I'm classified as an inside linebacker, and that's what I'm being recruited as.
Running back.
Defensive tackle.
Strong safety and outside linebacker.
Linebacker.
I play wide receiver and long snap.
Who was your favorite coach?
Coach Ben.
Coach Hudson.
My favorite coach growing up actually happened to be Coach Spin. It was Coach Spin, and I had another coach I played for when I played for the Riverdale Blackhawks around when I was 6 and under, when I was kind of first started learning how to play the game. Those two have been my favorite coaches my entire life.
Like growing up?
Uh-huh.
Probably Coach Rob.
Coach Rob.
My favorite coach is Coach Sid.
Probably Coach T, Coach Thomas.
I'd probably say Coach Rob, because that was my first football coach.
Okay.
My dad.
Okay.
Who is your favorite player?
Like anybody?
Yeah, anybody.
I'd say Deion Sanders and Travon Matthew.
Michael Pitt.
Favorite player growing up? I'm gonna just say my favorite player now, which is Deion Jones. Deion Jones or Julio.
Marshawn Lynch.
Dante Fowler, Sean Taylor. One of them two I like the most.
I say Ed Reed. I like how he played.
Ray Lewis.
Like in the NFL or college?
Anywhere.
It was somebody that played at Grambling. His name was TJ. I went to one of his games, and he was on the field balling, so it always been TJ.
What was your most memorable moment in a football game?
We played Tucker in a championship. I think it was 11U. I got 2 interceptions in one game.
Winning the state championship.
My most memorable moment was Had to be with Coach Spin scoring my first touchdown because beforehand I was a lot bigger, you know what I'm saying? I played offensive line, and so the only time I really touched the ball was at like practice we did at Oklahoma, or if I picked up a fumble, but I never scored. And so when I played with Coach Spin, I was actually playing wide receiver, and I scored a touchdown. And so I caught my first touchdown with him, and that had to be my most memorable moment.
Good or bad? Good or bad?
Good or bad?
It have to be one of my last running back plays. It was 4th down, 4th and goal, chance to tie the game up, championship game. Right before I scored, I stepped out of bounds.
Yards away, I dropped interception.
You want that one back, huh?
I want it back.
Well, the first time I stuck the running back in the hole, we played Sandy Creek for the championship, and it was a goal line stand. I stuck the running back in the hole, and we stopped them for that game in the stand.
Well, not last year, high school game, Dutchtown High School, I had cracked back somebody who gave a concussion on a punt return.
When we played Fayette County, I had got a pick. Because I had a concussion the week before and came back and got a pick, so I feel good.
What is the most important lesson football has taught you?
You got a family, they have your back always. Just know if anything happens, just keep grinding, keep going, don't ever give up.
Even when it gets hard, you gotta push through it, keep playing.
Football has taught me to never quit. You know, a lot of things are going to be hard. It was days in rec ball. I mean, I played on championship teams, and so as we all know, you're winning, you're putting in the most work, and it's definitely taught me to, you know, be able to bond with people, be able to work with people. You know, even if you're feeling something, you know, you just can't say, you know, be able to bond with team, lift each other up, and it's definitely a game that I think everybody should play, not just because of it's football, but what it does to you off the field.
Never give up. Never give up on your dreams. That's it.
Brothership and teamwork. You know, like hold everybody accountable. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their set job. Everybody know what they doing, their responsibility, what they have to do in every moment. You know what I'm saying?
How to not be an individual and use your team and peers around you.
How to grow up, be a man up.
That you're not supposed to do everything by yourself. You got a team for a reason, so everybody play their parts. And if you do your part, he do his part. Everybody come together, it should be good.
Have you already made a decision on where you want to play college ball?
No.
Not yet.
Kentucky University.
Okay.
Yes, sir. I'm going to Alabama A&M University. I'm going to be up there on the hill.
I want to go to Florida State.
If you could go back in time and change one thing, what would it be?
Either first game against Welcome All or championship against Welcome All. Championship, we lost last play of the game. Championship, we didn't come out there ready. We got blown out. Yeah, that was just a bad game.
We lost the 8th grade championship for my school. Definitely would have won that.
You talking about game wise?
Anything in life.
I don't know. Probably be some days I was just staying up late. I feel like I could have used a lot more sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Not stepping out of bounds in that last play.
With me dropping the interception, that's what I would have had me a pick 6.
I don't regret nothing.
To go back, playoff games versus Star Mill, and replay that down where they gave them the touchdown, but it was an incomplete pass. They changed that to where it was an incomplete pass.
When we was 12 and we played Welcome All, I would have told Coach, give me the ball. That's what I would have said.
What is your name?
My name is Coach Spin.
Where are you coaching now?
Right now, I'm coaching at North Henry, so I just had a 12-year-old team. That was my second time going up with them, so now I'm going to drop down to age 7 and 9.
Okay.
What made you decide to get into coaching?
I always liked helping kids. Even when I was a kid and living in Miami, the kids that were up under me, I always liked going out there helping with them and helping coaching them. So it's always been my passion to help kids in the game that I love.
What did this North Henry team mean to you?
Oh man, this was my baby right here, man. This team right here, we started out at our park. We were just a D2 team. It was about 2 or 3 D2 teams at our park. We only played locally right here in Henry County. When we turned 10 years old, we just went ahead and put those kids all together on one team, and we made our first run at it. And at 10 years old, and we told Alex from Born to Compete that we're gonna win it all that next year. We ended up doing it. So this team right here, man, just to see some of these guys, we got 2 of these guys getting ready to go to college now, and the rest of them will be going to college next year. So it's like a dream come true with me with these kids here.
What are your expectations for your former football players?
I expect nothing less than for all of them to go to college and earn a scholarship academically or athletically. That's the bar that we set with these kids when they were 10 years old. We expected them. The parents bought into it, and that's what we have been doing. We always stayed together. Every few months, the parents will still get together and go out or whatever. So, and it has always been that. So we kept this team together.
Why do you continue to coach?
I continue to coach, man, because it was a coach that probably saved my life. I grew up in Miami, played for Northside Optimus Panthers, and it was a coach by the name of Coach White. He was a police officer, and it was Coach Witherspoon and Coach Thomas Roll, man. And those 3 coaches right there impacted my life a lot. So I just wanted to give back and do some of the things that they did.
What does coaching young men mean to you?
It means to me that I get a chance to contribute to these young men's life. I get to be a positive role model for them to see a black man, a black positive man in their life. That can care about them. I care about their grades. I care about their well-being. We have to. I just feel like as black men, we have to show some of these positive role models inside of our communities, inside of our neighborhoods, inside of our churches. So if they see us being positive, then we can spread that germ of positivity throughout to them, and then they can reach some more young kids.
What was the most memorable moment for you while coaching football?
The most memorable moment probably would have to be with this team right here. It'll probably be the 11 and under team, when they were 11 and under, and nobody gave us a chance, and we were playing against South Cobb, playing against Sean, which is a very good coach, man. He does a lot for the kids as well, man. We have a good rivalry, but we was able to shock the whole state. Nobody believed it, nobody gave us a chance, and we went in that game and came out. So that was probably the biggest thing with that team. With this past team, it would probably be going to Texas. That would probably be the biggest thing. We traveled to Texas with those kids and played the top 2 teams they had to offer when we were going into our 11th grade year. We beat both of those teams. We took the kids on college tour to Grambling and Baylor all in that weekend and played their top 2 teams in a hostile environment and beat both teams.
If you could go back in time and change one thing, what would it be?
Oh man, if I could go back in time and change one thing, it probably would be I would have probably worked out more in high school as far as training wise. At that time, man, these guys get a bigger opportunity than we have. You have YouTube, you have all different type of things. You have people training and different things like that. When I kind of grew up, we lift weights because we wanted to. So if you didn't want to, you basically didn't have to. If you didn't want to train, then you basically didn't have to train until tour days. So if I had to do it all over again, I probably would train harder.
Okay.
remind me about this one.
Let's hear it.
My name is Joy Thompson, and my son is True Thompson.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Diana Ross Butler, and I'm the mother of Adonis Butler.
Hi, I'm Kyle McGhee, and I am the mother of the Jalen McGhee.
Oh, that's extra.
Jalen McGhee. That's what he told me to say. Jamie Brooks, and I'm the mother of Cameron Brooks.
Okay, to begin with, when we looked at the football program for True, we wanted it to be an experience where he could participate in an activity that would make him fit. And my mother was the one that encouraged us to get True involved in football, and she was like, you need to run him. You need to get him some exercise, because we wanted him to lose that baby fat.
Well, when Adonis was like 5 years old, my husband, he played football, and he took him out into the backyard and had him out there literally in the heat for probably morning until evening. And when Adonis came in the house, he was like, Mama, I don't want to play football. So we were like, all right, cool. Like, we thought he was done with the sport, because he was like, yeah, I'm good on that. Then when he turned 7, he told me he wanted to play, and I didn't pay attention to the deadlines, and so he missed fall football when he was 7, and he was mad the whole season. Anytime he saw a kid with a football, he was like, Mama, I told you I want to play football. Like, I'm so sorry. So we ended up putting him in spring football so that he could learn the fundamentals of the game, because I know fall football in Georgia is serious, and I didn't want him to be that kid who didn't know how to play. So we let him play spring ball. He started out on the line, and the coach just saw something in him. So by the middle of the season, he was running the ball and playing skilled positions, and he just turned out to love the sport. So I put him in a camp that summer so he could learn even more, and then that fall it was a wrap. He just loved the sport, and since my husband played, I was comfortable letting him play, and the rest is history.
When Jalen signed his national letter of intent, when we first got the letter and from the school, it was just exciting, especially when you see that it's paid in full. For him to go out of state and to be able to play the game that he loves, it was a blessing. When we went on the visits, just how they treat you, it was just like royalty. And I would say it's worth every dime that we put in him. I figured that it was like an investment, and it was just an investment that's now paid in full. So.
Because I think for us, one, I was team mom for all 3 years, and then Kyle was team mom the last year. Jamie, I think you were team mom the first year. So 10U, and then 11U, 12U. So I think for us collectively, at least in my opinion, our best memory was when they won the championship game.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was unbelievable, because it was David versus Goliath, and nobody thought that our boys would win that championship game. And when we won, it was just, it was amazing.
And when they won from the beginning, you remember they played the Centennial Bowl?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
we won every single game.
And you really saw their skills.
To like the Born to Compete Bowl. It was like 16 games we went. That was I think that was
amazing. It was amazing. We love our Tiger family. And
we had a pep rally for them.
Yeah, we sure did. We did that in the little clubhouse, right? We had that.
We had a pep rally.
We did
a lot of time.
I tell you what, now that my son is 3-star All-American, I didn't realize that I was raising an athlete until, we realized the recognition that he got for his agility. And I think a lot of it has to do with a strong support, watching what he eats, making sure that his aches and pains are taken care of. He's getting enough sleep. His time management was very important, because, trying to make sure he's making great grades during the football season, that's challenging. And communicating with his teachers so they understand what he's doing and what he's going through. And we've had a lot of support from our community and moms, like families like us who understand that what we're all going through. So I have to say it takes persistence and understanding, because we've had some days where I thought my son was going to quit. Or when he got hurt, and I didn't know he was hurt, but he was continued playing in the game hurt. And so, you know, we've had to stay strong.
Yeah, you have to have a strong support.
Very strong
like
support.
When Jalen was his senior year, all of the moms, the senior moms, we got so close, and how we just bonded and we supported the kids. The boys, if they see their mom supporting them, to me, you're gonna go a long way. Because any boy that see their mom supporting them, then it's something special, and so they can push themselves, because it's so easy to give up. You know, when you around a lot of negative people, people that really don't want to see you doing good, if you have that a mom or a family member in your ear, it just helps push you and push you. So I would say, and it's hard work too.
Very hard work.
And you got to keep them disciplined.
Yeah, and they're friends.
Yeah.
A lot of you
Yeah.
have to have like-minded friends who
Yeah.
have the same
Around you.
goals that you have.
Yes.
to help
Because
push
if they
each other.
don't, it's so easy to fall
Right.
off.
And I'm sure we all have done the same, is exposing them to the greats and and taking them to camps and exposing them to what, you know, it's like in the real league or at the college level, and talking to other coaches and communicating with people that are already in you know, the football world. And I think just staying close to that and being real and understanding their weaknesses and strengths as they grow, that's been one of the most important things, I think.
This is your GPA, your ACT.
That's
You want to
right.
play? Like, this is what it takes.
This is what it
you have
takes.
to. They would be practicing, and I was like, well, Jalen gonna be late because he got to do math. And what really stuck with me when I went to Kumon, and when she gave me the prize, I was like, oh my gosh. And she told me, she said, Mom, does he play football? And I said, yeah. She said, Mom, don't be one of those ones that you wait until his senior year and you coming in here saying, I need my son to pass the ACT. I need for you to help me. She said, invest in him now, and then it's going to pay off later. And was she right? Oh my gosh. And I'm not trying to be prejudiced, but she said a lot of African Americans, they don't last in college because they never got that foundation. She said, if you go ahead and get him the foundation, then he's going to soar. And she was so right, and I'm so glad I listened.
My name is Alton Thompson, and my son's name is True Thompson.
My name is Deshaun Glenn, and my son's name is Kevon Glenn.
My name is Adrian Butler, and my son is Adonis Butler.
My name is Thomas Jones. Everybody call me Spin. My son's name is Travon Jones.
My name is Keith Brooks. My son's name is Cameron Brooks.
I'm Dion McGhee. My son is Jalen McGhee.
Okay. All right.
I allowed my son to play football because I played football in high school and I ran track, and I thought it was very important that he got that same experience. I thought that giving him that experience would make him a better person, and that's why I let him play.
Okay.
Me as well, same thing. Played football, middle school, high school. I felt like my son also needed something constructive to do. You know, keep him idle. Make sure he stayed on the right path by doing something constructive. You know, so football was definitely the path I took. So I felt like he needed to take the same.
Okay.
For me, it was similar. I played football, so I wanted to introduce my son to what I played, but he didn't take to it. When I introduced it, my delivery wasn't right, and the main reason for doing so is that football to me is like life. Long story short, you get knocked down, you dust it off, and get back up. So that he had to know that it was urgent.
Gotcha. For me, I had a rule in my house where you're gonna play football until you get in the 10th grade. After you finish the 10th grade, you have to play some other type of sport. I believe football really changed my life growing up in Miami. So it gave me discipline, gave me structure, and I began to love the game. So my mother was able to use that to keep me on the right track. I think it teaches life lessons. It teaches you that sometimes you can do everything right and you still lose. So I wanted them to be familiar with that before they get in the workplace. And then when, you know, somebody blamed them for something, they never seen that before. You know, they never understood it. So I know that it gives very good life lessons. So I wanted him to be a part of that. Know how to interact with other kids, know how to express himself. I wanted him to learn to be a team player, so he can take that into the boardroom.
I basically, I grew up in a household without my father around, so College Park, man, basically all we had was football. Taught me basically everything I know. The leadership, the mentors that I had at the time from the coaches, I was getting that on the field as opposed to not getting that at the house. My mom working 3 jobs. So I knew, you know, coming up, man, what it did for me. I wanted to make sure that was going to be a part of my son's life. And just developing the relationships. As you can see, a lot of these kids been playing together since they was 4 or 5 years old, man. So the friendship and just teaching them how to be productive and how to, you know, work with other kids and it's helped socially. So that's something I knew I wanted to introduce to him, you know, because that was a big focus on my life, man. You know, as opposed to running the streets, you had to feel. I walked to practice, man. It was something I wanted to do. And as I saw him getting older, man, the same thing, you know, the love for it, you know, it just grew abundantly, man. So I'm glad we did introduce that to him, man. So that's basically why we started.
I mean, for me, it was never an option. It was never, will I let my son play football? He had to play football. My biggest question was, I hope he's as good as I was. I played high school, I played college ball, so I didn't want to push him too hard. I knew I had to push him. You know, I mean, it's just like these other gentlemen said, football teaches you it's microcosm of life. You know, you're going to go through adversity. Somebody's going to cuss you out when you do wrong. Somebody's going to cuss you out when you do right. You're going to get it wrong. How are you going to react to that? And so I want to make sure that at an early age, you know, it's crazy. Because
I think the most memorable was preseason tournament. And we talked about that earlier. It was a Centennial Bowl. And when the team came together, I looked at the team and I was, this team, I don't know about this team because we had some small guys on our team. And seeing that team and my son being part of that team and winning the Centennial Bowl, I said, man, we have something special here.
But mine would probably be, man, it was our beginning of our 11 and under season. We got a chance to play at halftime at a preseason game at the Falcons. And our boys were real funny, man. And he got a chance to do something that I know I'll never do. You know, he scored inside the Atlanta Falcons stadium on the big Jumbotron. Coach Said called the option play, and when Said called the option play, we were about on the 10-yard line. I already knew he wasn't gonna pitch it to CJ. I knew it. So we ran the option, he faked it to CJ, and shot up and scored, and we won the game. So that was probably my most memorable moment.
Basically, it was that year when we added, when Carlos came through, and one thing about having talent, man, the only way you get better, you got to keep more talent coming. You got to be surrounded by talent. So we was almost like Alabama for them 2-3 years, man. We was reloading, man. We was trying to get better, how we can get better, you know. So we were bringing in cats, man. We brought in CJ, TJ, you know. Well, I told Cameron, I said, look, dog, this the secondary. So, you know, you gonna have to work harder. So we would always have these talks every night, man, and Carlos wanted to get his guys in. Yeah, everybody know. And I told Cam, I said, it's all good, you know, and it was something about Said was like, you know, I'm always run with my best, you know, and he felt like Cameron was the best. Well, we were playing Locust Grove, and basically Said came to me, told me, say, man, look, hey, Cam ain't gonna start. You know, we finna get these other cats in here. So, you know, I told him what the deal was before the game. We got out there. Cameron didn't play until halftime. Cameron came in that first series, took that pick. He took a pick. And like I told him, man, that right there, Said came to me after the game and said, this why Cam my man. You know what I'm saying? He said, we gonna go through the motions. We gonna see who the best. We gonna put everybody out there. But it made me feel good to know that he didn't go on that sideline. He ain't pout. He ain't complain. You know, he kept his teammates in the game. You know what I'm saying? He a team player. And to go out there and perform when your number called, you know, it was big for me. That was the biggest moment, man. Like I said, outside of anything as far as just him individually, because it showed, man. Yeah, I'm telling you. And I told him, man, matter of fact, he had 2 that game. He had 2. And I told him, I said, man, listen, this is why we work hard. But I mean, it was a proud moment, dog. I promise you, man.
The first year, D1 season wasn't that good. It was who was the Tiger coach that year? It was big guy.
Tony, something like that.
Tony Trigger. Tony Trigger. Yep, Tony Trigger. We have a good year. So you know what I'm saying? I had never trained my son because I was like, you know, my standard was here. So I didn't want to over push him and push him away from football. But the second year we were playing D1 with the Tigers. I had talked to Sid and whatnot, and we went to the Centennial Bowl. Never forget, it was the first play. I think we were playing Central DeKalb. We was playing first play of the game. You know, I was one of the guys I was a chain crew guy because they was short. It was the home team that got. My son got off the ball. You know, I was teaching this rip move. You know how to dip, rip, and climb field. You know what most little leagues don't do. I was a high school coach at the time, so I was teaching high school stuff. He dip, rip, and knocked the shit out of the running back. I went fucking ham on the side. Left the chain.
You remember that, don't you? I do too.
Ham on the sideline. Got kicked off the chain. So I got kicked off. Had to be a parent. And I went over there with the coaches and started coaching. You know what I'm saying? It was
being there at every game, putting your child in the best situation possible, around good people, and just being there for him. You know, I think that's one of the biggest things, because you know, basically, that's just the way it should be. You know, and I commend all the fathers here for being in their sons' lives, and I think that's the best thing that a man can do, be there for their son and be able to guide him down the right path.
He pretty much hit the hammer with the nail. Being there, being in your child's life, but also being in your child's life as a positive model. Because I know dads who are in their child's lives, but in not such a positive manner, and their boys are going in the same not so positive manner as their dad. But being a positive influence in his life, I think to me is the number one thing to do.
Yes, I agree also with what brothers are saying. You know, it kind of turns into like if you're a cook, what's the ingredients? Or if you're a construction worker, what's the blueprint?
The apple don't fall too far from the tree.
You know what I'm saying? And eventually it turns to what they were saying. And I'm sure all of us will have something to bring, because it's not just one. It's ingredients, and it is the blueprint. You gotta have the discipline. The discipline goes a long way.
To me, I think what helped my child, first and foremost, you know, just being in his life, being positive. But I can't sit here and lie. A lot of these guys right here had something to do with my son. And I think that is the secret right there. A father surround himself around other positive males, because there's no way in the world that I can be around my son at all times.
Basically, what everybody, I'm just right off what everybody else said and twist it up a little bit, but when we started putting this thing together, that was I was one of the first ones out here trying to help put things together. And I was coming out of a situation in another county where I saw what the problem was. The problem wasn't the kids, it wasn't the coaches, it was the parents. You know, the parents is the strongest backbone behind this whole thing. Cause they driving these kids ain't driving to practice. All the decisions are being made with the parents. So when I started trying to put something together, I went after parents, man. I know what kids can play. You know, we had good coaches, but when we got the good group of parents together, man, and we knew, just like he said, he played on that team the year before. They had just as much talent, if not more. But we came through, like they said, we all came in. We was in the rec ball portion of the park. But man, we were tail holding almost anything. We had a rec ball team we ran through the county with. We ran through the state with.
A D1 rec ball team.
Just tearing them up. But it was because of the parents, man, doing what we doing tonight, man, getting together. After every game, man, we got together, we did something, and that was the biggest thing, man. That's what them kids fed off of,
Coach Spin, assistant head coach, Coach said, my son's signed a D1 scholarship, and it's because that man that's sitting right there. When we sat down, we went to Alabama A&M, and I met with the D-line coach. And my wife looked at me and said, Dion, does this dude remind you of Coach Junior right there? I said, he showed. I said, my next word with her, we gonna be all right. I ain't say nothing else. I turned to Jay, gave him the thumbs up. Because of that dude right there that called me and said, hey man, where McGhee at? We running these hills. I was like, shit, we on the way, coach. We right down the street.